Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is William Michael Forbes, and I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul for Friday. It's an amazing morning for me. We've had some very fascinating conversations with a number of beings, but today we have John Lennon on the discussion of giving your mind peace. And this is very exciting. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for everybody to come on. But yeah, what a wonderful technological day this has been. This week has been filled with interesting technological glitches. And, you learn to realize that the outside world should not have any sway over determining how you feel or behave at any point in time. The idea, the illusion that the outside world should be able to dictate how you feel is an old paradigm. It's the old fight, flight. It's the old paradigm. You want to be in complete control of what's going on within you, not let the outside world determine your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Welcome, everybody. And I'm only broadcasting through my YouTube live channel today. Again, the Be Live interface is not working, so I will be departing from Be Live TV as it is not a very effective system for me to work with. So I will be using a new interface next week, and I'm excited about that. It's always good to try new technologies and explore new things. But today we have John Lennon came in today, and he said he had it all wrong with the idea of giving peace a chance. He said, we have to give our mind peace. We have to learn to give our minds peace in order for peace to have a chance. And it's really amazing. He says, this is where we are perched right now as a species. We are at the place where we have to each learn how to give our own minds peace. Because if you can't give the world peace if you don't have it in your own mind. Peace doesn't have a chance if you don't have peace in your own mind. We had it backwards, he says. We had it backwards. We had to give our mind peace to give peace a chance. And that's an amazing, I just got goosebumps and rushes, and the energy of him is just so blissful. It's like this just sparkles everywhere. And yeah, he's saying humanity has to slow itself down even more. It has to slow down even more. The focus must become giving your mind peace. He says it's not really that hard to do. He says you just have to stop thinking about all kinds of stuff. Stop being so distracted by everything out there. Give your mind peace, and peace will have a chance. But it's not going to happen by trying to make other people behave the way you want them to be. It didn't work in my day. It's not going to work in your day. You have to give your mind peace, and you will give the world peace in turn. Yes. He says it's not that hard to do. It really is not. It's just a simple matter of being able to get quiet, get away from the distractions, get inside here, and inside here, and get it all quiet. It's too noisy, he says. Everything is, for you guys, everything's too noisy, and you have to get quiet. Everybody wants peace, but you're not going to have peace in a fearful world. And you have a fearful world because you have fearful minds. And until you get the peace in your mind, you ain't going to see peace in the world. You're just not going to see it. He's saying he's here today because it came to his attention that a lot of what he said in that one song was misunderstood, and it was not presented in the way it actually should have been. I wrote that song from a very joyful, happy, peaceful place inside myself. But what I did not realize at the time of the writing was that I needed to communicate that you need to be peace. We need to be peace inside ourselves first in order for that to happen in the world. So we need to teach ourselves how to become the peace, the love, the joy that we want to see in the world. To be as one means we must be in a state that's congruent with each other. He says it's very important to cultivate peace in yourself. Do not engage anything that's less than that if you wish to see it in your world. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. He says it's a lot of fun where he is now. He says, I've gone to many different places. There are many different planetary systems in this dimension that offer you different ways of seeing, hearing, and knowing life from the experience of non-physical being. It's quite delightful to be able to move freely. Wherever you put your mind when you are free, you may go. He's saying, but you can do it here too. You can put your mind at peace. You can put your mind at war. But wherever you put your mind, that is where you're going to go. So I'm simply here today to tell you to give your mind peace. If you want to see peace in the world, give your mind peace. If you want to see love in the world, give your mind love. If you want to see joy in the world, give your mind joy. You must be that which you want to see. And the reason that song was so popular is because I wrote it from a place of absolute peace, from a place of knowing that this is what we experience when we are in a state of unity consciousness. When you are in complete peace with yourself, then that is all you can envision for anything. That's all you can enact in the world. Yeah, you just keep saying that. Just keep that in your mind. Give your mind peace. Give your mind peace. Get away from the distractions. It doesn't happen from the outside in. Everybody's been trying to force everybody to be the way they think they need the other people to be to find peace, and it will not work. It has never worked. It will not work that way. You have to be peace. You have to be the peace in mind and in body. Once you got it in your mind, you will embody it in your actions and in your words. Give your mind peace. Wow. That seems to be the general thing. And he's repeating it over and over and over again. And it's just this vibration, the way he says it, to give your mind peace. Yes. Most of what's going on in your mind, he says, most of what's going on in your mind are just distractions. They're distractions that have nothing to do with who you are. You just have to learn to quiet it all down. Yes. And what the beautiful thing is, when you learn to quiet your mind down, you are literally free from the world. And then when you've got what you want going on inside of you, then you're going to treat the world in very particular and specific ways. He said that's all he had to really say today. It's all you really need to know, is that in order for peace to have a chance, you got to give your minds peace. You cannot keep forcing others to try and be what you think will fulfill you and ever expect to find peace. For each of you must establish that in your own heart and soul, as I did, as others have done. But it needs to be done on a very grand scale. If I could rewrite that song for you, that would be the statement. Give your mind peace. All I am saying is give your mind peace, and there will be peace on earth. And it goes for everyone, that what you have in your mind, you will put into your world. That's cool. So there you have it. Give your mind peace. And if you can get to that place in yourself, the question then becomes, for those of you that don't have peace in your mind, how do you get there? How do you get there from where you are? Well, first, you have to learn to stop letting your mind think for you. Most people's minds are being operated by external stimuli. This ad, that thing, what so-and-so says, what you see on TV, what you hear from there. Most people's minds are not operated by themselves, they're operated by the external world. And it's great for advertisers. It's great for people selling products and services. But it's not great for the individual mind who's pulled in this direction and pulled in that direction, told to believe this and told to believe that, told to think this, told to think that, told to do this, told. No, that doesn't give you peace, does it? It doesn't even feel like peace, does it? But to give your mind peace means you pull your attention away from the distractions of the world and the distractions in your mind. You need to take your awareness and realize all the thoughts, all of the emotions going on in your mind are not you. You are an awareness that can be aware of thoughts and emotions, and you can train your mind to be still and to be quiet. Excuse me, just let me clear that. You can train your mind to be still and to be quiet. You can even do it in a single breath. So this is Saint Germain saying you can even do it in a single breath if you understand the meaning of your assertion of your will over your body, which is a divine assertion. You can assert your will over your body with your breath, and in a single breath you can restore peace or some degree thereof to your mind. Do it right now. Breathe slowly and deeply and fill your lungs and exhale and feel the exhalation of the distractions from your mind. Feel the exhalations of the distractions from your mind. And when you exhale distractions from your mind, and you're doing that consciously, you will begin the process of returning your mind to its initial state of peace and quiet. When you came into that physical house, into that physical body, there was nothing but peace and quiet in that house. And then the noise of your world came gathering in and knocked at the door of your ears and your eyes and your nose and your senses. And it knocked on the door, and you answered, and you listened, and you let things in, and you let so-and-so, and you let this thought in. Now it's time to say, no, let's restore peace to your mind. He's actually, Saint Germain is actually directing that energy to everybody right now, this vibration of peace, saying literally, breathe, and release all the distraction from your mind. He says you can do this in a single breath. And when you feel even the slight change of peace in your mind and body, then you do another breath and you create even more. And when you feel more, you do it again and you create more. And eventually you're back to the silence, that still quiet being, a being that is you, undisturbed by the world, but aware and actively present in your ability to create deliberately and intentionally in this world. Yeah. Okay. He wants me to keep just letting him transmit that energy. He says, once you start to feel it within you and you start to recognize that it is you, you begin to broadcast that vibration into the world. And it's not a process of effort. It's a process of allowing. Because when you give your awareness to anything, you feed it your life. Yes. I'm going to repeat that. He's saying whenever you give your awareness to anything, you're giving it your life. So if you're giving your awareness to peace, you're giving peace more life. If you're giving that, the feeling of peace outward, you're giving your life of peace to the world. If you're giving your awareness, if you're giving your awareness to anger, then you're giving life to anger. If you're giving your awareness to guilt, you're giving life to guilt. Your awareness is the life. You are the life, and your awareness is life. So whatever you give your attention to, you're giving life to. So learn to give your life to things that strengthen you, empower you, expand you, excite you, make you playful and fun. Give your awareness to the things that you want to give life to. Cool. That's funny. He's gone. John Lennon's completely gone, but it's so beautiful. I mean, he was here for about 45 minutes, just repeating that. Give your mind peace. And that's really the whole focus of this day, this time, this moment, to restore your mind to peace, as Saint Germain is saying. You were born in peace. We all were. When we came into these bodies, when we first moved into these little bodies as an awareness, there was nothing in it. It was just quiet, empty space. That's all it was, a quiet, empty space. Your mind had nothing in it other than a few sensorial bits of information from the ears and the eyes from the womb. But for all intents and purposes, there was nothing in your mind and body. That was given to you. all the information came knocking at the door, right? All the words, the name you were given, what your parents told you about life, how you hold this, how you do that, all that was put into the house. And those of you that are struggling with depression and anxiety and anger and addiction, it's because your house is overcrowded and you're crowded into a corner and nobody's taught you how to clean your house. And we as a species need to do a house cleaning. We need to do a house cleaning on what we think so that we can be different. And what is a house cleaning? Learning to get the house clear. And it doesn't mean you have to get rid of what you remember. It doesn't mean you have to stop thinking. It does mean that you learn to align your awareness to a quality of consciousness that represents what you want your life to be as an experience. But getting your mind, St. Germain just saying, but getting your mind quiet and still is very important. Yes. I often use, hi, sweetheart. I often use the example of being in a crowded bar and you've got all kinds of noise going on and you're sitting right close to a friend and they're communicating with you and you're having to lean, you're having to struggle to hear. Well, when your mind is full of stuff and you got blah, 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 going on and this thought, what about tomorrow? What about today? What am I going to do? And you got all that going on. You can't hear. You can't hear with all that noise going on. You can only hear when your mind is quiet. And if you take a moment and just try listening to quiet, just listen to silence in your mind will immediately start to relax, and so will your body, right? He wants me to come back to this. So the simplest way to give your mind peace is literally a single breath can do it. A single breath right now, deliberately releasing any distraction from your mind. And when you feel even the slightest bit more better, take another breath and do it again. And then do it again. And then do it again until you've cleared the clutter out of your mind. We're going to get into some questions and answers right now. I'm just going to see where we got here. Hi, everybody. If you want to support the messages, support Shortcuts for Your Soul and Supernatural Saturday, please do so by becoming a member of my Patreon page at patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. You can also support these messages by using the super chats. If you've got a question that you want to prioritize, please do so through the super chats, and we'll get your questions because they're prioritized as super chats as well. I'm just going to scroll up here. Hi, everybody. I want to say thank you, everybody, for being so patient with the technical ins and outs. I want to ask the guys and Angel, why does this keep happening? It says, I've got to be open to things changing. There are other things trying to unfold in terms of how we direct these messages out to the world. And so we're just going to flow. If they want us to go live on YouTube, that's exactly what I'm going to do, is go live on YouTube and directly instead of going through the other interface of BeLive or Zoom. We'll go directly through YouTube from now on. I'll just have to figure out what that looks like. But the live shows will continue. They said, be assured, but don't get caught up in things that slow you down. And there's no slowing down with YouTube. It's almost an instant connection. It's clear and it's crisp, and we love it. I love it anyway. So let's get into some questions and answers. Hi, Kathy. So yeah, thank you to everybody for being so patient. Questions from Adam. Can I ask Archangel Sandalphon on if it will be a good idea to import fitness equipment to use and sell, or should I wait until the lockdown ends? He's saying you just answered your own question. It's surprising how many times they say that to people. Oftentimes you'll ask a question, you've just answered it. In your case, your choice is correct. To be mindful, to wait for that process, for you don't understand what sort of restrictions you're going to be facing in this third dimensional world as a result of people's fears concerning this. He wants to say illusion, but he's calling it a manifestation. This manifestation, which from my perspective is an illusion. But no, he says it's just a manifestation. It's not anything that's more real than breathing or walking. Yes. Question from Patricia. Um, did he realize that he was creating his experience while he was here, or did the knowledge come with passing over? Thank you. Great question, Patricia. Um, he's saying the knowledge of what I have said to you today, that you have to give your mind peace, I had it backwards, came after I left. It came after I left, where the attachments I had to this world were further away, so I was less distracted. My sense of compassion for the world blinded me to the reality that each of us have to make up what we need to in our own minds to make it up in the world. It has to happen inside of each one of us. I can't, couldn't make somebody think another way. It doesn't matter how many great songs I can write. I cannot make anybody think another way. They must choose it. They can get excited about something and get into it for a moment, but they must choose it every day. The idea of peace must be chosen in our own hearts, in all of us. But I realized this after I left, that it wasn't about giving peace a chance. It was giving our minds peace so that peace could have a chance. This came afterwards. Yes. Thank you. Great question, Patricia. Thank you so much. Yeah. Question from Magical Buddha. How do I turn my mind into looking forward and not in the past? I'm not sure who's going to answer here. Who's this? They're saying, look into the now as you would have it. Look into the now as you would have it, being now as you would have it. And how does this feel? If the now you are in is the now you would have, then it will be the now that you will subsequently create. If not immediately, certainly by the maintenance of that energy, it will unfold in your world. The moment you give your life to anything, that is where you will go. And the moment you are giving your life to this envisionment of what it is, the joy, the success, the prosperity, the wonder, the excitement, the playfulness that you are seeking, if you are feeling that here and now, then you are going to enable that to come. And you cannot have the past interfering with your present if your attention is not on your past anymore. It is on a new present. And that will become the new line of time that you will follow. Yes. And I might say to that, I would add to that too, that you can also hold, I can't add anything else to that. It's really the truth, isn't it? Yeah. Just hold a clear vision of what you want your life to be right now and stay in that. And don't let anything because your past will try to represent itself. You got to Master Jesus says, turn the other cheek, right? And he meant that. He did not mean that about when somebody's mean or nasty to you. I mean, that's one facet of it. But he said it really meant in your mind, whenever anything, anger, fear, guilt, shame, rage, envy, greed, when any of those things come up in your mind, turn your attention, turn the other cheek. So you're not paying attention to those things, and you're paying attention to joy and love and patience and passion and excitement and playfulness and caring and giving. So turn the other cheek. Master Jesus always says that, right? Yes, I understand. Excuse me, just going to pick these up. And so great question. Thank you so much. Carolyn's asking a great question. How do we know when not to engage with those that challenge us and stir our negative reactions of fear and anger? Thank you. My immediate answer to that is, when that happens, engage them not from the perspective of that has anything to do with you. That's them. That's not who you are. Their behavior is not who you are. And any emotions that their energy invokes in you, because somebody can come up to you and call you a name, and you might have a reaction, but that reaction, if you get caught up in the reaction, then you get lost in the emotion of the reaction, and then the behavior that will unfold, or your interaction with them, is now based on your reaction to their behavior of the name calling. But once you feel that action inside, you feel they call your name, you feel upset, you just go, that upset is not who I am. This is not who I am. That's not who I am. And this was something they gave to me a few weeks ago when they had me lose my phone and all my ID, is knowing who you are and who you are not. William is not who I am any more than you are who you think you are. This is just the mechanism that I use while I'm in physical time and space. So recognizing that when somebody's saying or doing something that's upsetting you, that upset you're feeling, that's not who you are. That's just a reaction to what they're putting out. And the minute you say, this is not who I am, you actually shut it down. And then you repeat it. If it comes up again, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. This is not who I am. You literally shut down that emotional field in the system so it doesn't happen anymore. And then you'll watch, because when you don't anchor their energy in your system, they can't keep at it. Their behavior changes almost instantly. You'll see fundamental changes in people happen around you right away once you can not get engaged in the negative emotional energies as yourself. They're not. They're just energy stored within the system that you have to just remove by not realizing they're not you. Your anger is not who you are. It's an energy, an emotion. It's not who you are. Fear is an emotion. It's not who you are. Guilt is an emotion. It's not who you are. They're just energies that are stored in your system from either your acquired genetic programming you've received from people that handed those emotions down to you, or from the environment that's been given you in the physical time space that you're in that biological organism that you're in right now. So being able to get yourself to a place where you're no longer subjective to those energies, whether they're coming from outside or inside. So somebody can be screaming at you and you're in that, that's not who I am. And you'll be surprised at what happens. And like I said, a year ago, they said, you're going to be learning more about the power of love. And I went out onto the front deck of the building here to have a cup of tea. And while I'm sitting there in this vibration, they said, stay in this vibration of love and just radiate the vibration of love out everywhere you are from as far as you can. So I'm doing this. And all of a sudden I hear this man screaming, coming on the deck, starts screaming and yelling. And he picks up a chair and he runs towards me with the chair raised over his head. And he's going to throw this chair at me. And all I did was look up at him. I didn't even feel it all, because I'm in this vibration of love. And I look up at him and all I'm feeling is this love. And his eyes went really funny. And he went, and then he threw the chair away and ran away. Now, what was that? What happened there? As in that moment, I was in a vibration of love. I did not accept any of what he was saying or doing as being who I am or being real. I was in a vibration of love. He had his vibration. My love went out, which is what I was in, and it induced him into a change. He was forced to give up his anger and leave, depart. And so what we're saying to you today about learning the distinction between who you are and who you're not is crucial here. Very important. So when other people are overreacting, that's not who you are. And once you realize that's not who you are, that's who they are. It doesn't mean you have to get rid of them or judge them. And if you have any judgment, don't be judgmental. That's not who you are either. You're not anger, you're not fear, you're not guilt. That's not who you are. And the more you consolidate your awareness, differentiate your awareness from all that emotional stuff, you'll be no longer subjective to it. And the people around you will no longer be subjective to that as well, because you won't be putting that out to them anymore. They won't be able to put it on you anymore. They'll energetically not be able to do it. Just like that man was energetically not able to hit me with that chair because the vibration radiating out did not support it. And so he literally fled, right? Be gone, thee hence, right? Great question, though. And this is stuff everybody needs to know. We're coming up to our at the end of next week, we start our Mediumship 102 course, and we get very deeply into how do you let go of old emotions, not just emotions you've acquired from this lifetime, but what about the emotions you've inherited from mom, from dad, from grandpa, from grandma? Because you inherit emotional, physical, and mental tendencies in your DNA. DNA is a massive memory system that's stored in our bodies that goes back right from the very conception of the very first single cell of life on this planet, right? All information is stored in DNA. All life information is stored in DNA. And you can amplify things and you can de-amplify things. You want to learn to get in control of your DNA. We go into that in the 102 as well, how you can begin to extract the negative energies out of DNA and amplify the positive frequencies in DNA. So you can draw on all the the power and strength of your ancestors into the present moment, because it's with you. The successes and failures of all history are within each and every one of our bodies as DNA packets. And when you can learn to organize the DNA, you can change anything in your life. And we go into that deeply, and how to actually begin to let go of all that old stuff, and then to generate and amplify new vibrational frequencies in your consciousness, like love. So you can start to watch your love and your joy and your playfulness start to unfold within you and around you in the world. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Great question, Patricia. The other thing I want to add to that, Patricia, is the minute you are not caught up in the anger, you will have a different response. The minute you are not caught up in reacting to them, you will have a different response. That's why when I feel somebody projecting upset or angry at me, I go to a place where that's not who I am. And there's a different response there. It's just what happens, because you're no longer attached to an old response. When you let it go, something new is there, right? It's like you've got something in front of your face and you move it out of the way. There's something else there, right? Everybody's looking at that, and then suddenly there's something else behind it. So when you release your attachment to an old internal response, a new response becomes available to you. You might not say anything. You might just feel compassion for them. You might just want to walk away, but there'll be a different response than what you normally would do. And it won't come from a place of anger. It won't come from a place of fear. It won't come from a place of guilt. It'll come from a place other than that, because that's not what you are. There, thank you. The universe agreed with me in a bark. Love that. The dog, which is God spelled backwards, agrees with that. I'm going to scroll up here. Hi, everybody. Yes, that's very true, Patricia. That's not who I am. It's so powerful. When I realized that, when they gave that to me, it's been such a wonderful, liberating journey when you realize that you're not who you think you are, and most of your thoughts aren't even yours. They were given to you. That's not who you are. Most of the emotions you have aren't who you are either. And you get the choice to generate. You can generate emotions. You can generate anger. You can generate love. You can generate peace. You can generate conflict. You can create emotional manifestations that create existing conditions in our world, which we're seeing today. The ascension movement that's rapidly unfolding on the planet has so many people waking up to all the stuff that we've suppressed as a species. And now we have the chance to say, this is not who we are. We are not a species of fear. We are a species of, that's not who we are. We are not fear. We're not guilt. We're not anger. We're not war. We aren't those things. And as more and more people are waking up to the truth that we are love, we are creative potential, we are light, we are compassion, we are caring, we are respectful. As we start to, as the ascension energies bring more and more of that to our conscious awareness, we'll start to see significant changes in the world that move us away from fear. But the fear has a life of its own and is fighting to stay alive, like an animal, right? An animal tries to fight for its survival. Well, an energy like fear is an energy. It's got a life to it. And we have to literally take our attention away from it for the life to leave it, right? Cool. Let's go down here. That's right, Patricia. Tika says yes. Wonderful. I'm just going through here. Well, that's wonderful, Patricia. I hope you really explore. We make a really wonderful carrot soup. It's called a raw carrot soup. We use our Vitamix, which can heat carrots up to warm temperature, so you don't harm the vitality in the carrots. You don't take the life out of it. And in literally 15 minutes, you can have a beautiful soup. I put a little clove of garlic in with it and ginger, and we have this amazing carrot soup. That's a really wonderful thing to do too. So that's a wonderful meal. I'm going to go back here. So Adam's asking a question. Sandalphon thinks I should wait until gym opens back, or should I import the equipment? I don't understand which answer he gave. He's saying you should hold off on trying to set up a gymnasium process. If you wish to import equipment for the purpose of these gymnasiums to supply them is one thing. For the purpose of establishing your own establishment, I recommend that you wait until the lockdown process, the fear that's associated falsely with this condition, is ameliorated from social consciousness. When it is removed from social consciousness, then people will become more free in who they are again. But again, this process about liberating yourselves from fear is really ultimately what this whole COVID thing is about. You must realize that fear is not who you are as a species, as individuals. Yes, back to what our dear one John said, that you must give your mind peace. That is the only way you will have peace in the world. Give your mind peace. He's also saying if he wishes to go forward with this, he must do so from a conviction of joy. You must do so from a conviction of joy. For you do not have to listen to everything we say, for you are, as thinking sentient being also. You may choose to go forth in joy, and you will find different things can occur. But in uncertainty, if you go forth in uncertainty, then uncertainty you will encounter. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Where are we right here? Perfect. Wow. I think we're good for today, guys. This has been really great. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this information with others. We're at a point in our species evolution where we get to choose between love or fear. And you can't know what you're choosing between unless you're aware of it. And now we're very aware of how much fear is pervading human collective unconscious. We can see just this one little trigger called a virus brought up all this fear in human collective unconsciousness. And it's our responsibility to realize, as a species, fear is not who we are. Fear is not who we are as a species. What are we as a species? We are love as a species. And we have to make that a conscious choice, not just for ourselves, but we all have to make it together. Like it won't work. We all have to do this together. And that's why the Ascension movement's in such full swing, because we have to unite under one. You can't serve two masters. You cannot serve fear and love. You got to serve one or the other. You can't serve them both, right? So everybody's being faced, will I choose love or will I choose fear? And I hope you'll choose love today. And I hope you'll choose peace today. Give your mind peace. Do what he said earlier. Literally take that deep breath and literally release all the clutter from your mind with your breathing. And when you feel a bit of peace, breathe again and do the same thing and do the same thing until you've restored peace in your mind. It's easier to construct love when you're in a state of peace, just as it's easy to construct peace from a vibration of love. Yes. Thank you. Yes, that's correct. Wonderful. Great insights, great questions. And I say thank you very much to everybody. I will see you all on Supernatural Saturday tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. And have yourselves a wonderful and a joy-filled day. This will be saved as a video on my YouTube channel shortly. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.